Provided with accommodations when you do go for flight attendant training? Yes, flight attendant trainees are provided with accommodations. However, it is a shared space. So let's talk about it. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Priscilla. I'm here to tell you that whatever worries that you have when it comes to accommodations, if you're in the process of becoming a flight attendant, note that accommodations will be provided for you. However, it is a shared space, as in you have to share the room with somebody else. Sharing my experience, when I went for training in 2023, I shared my space with another individual. However, my airline did something different where they actually did personality tests and assessments on us that helped them in matching us with as close to perfect a roommate as possible. So they actually found people that were potentially around your age group or generation, and also possibly same interests and possibly same backgrounds or experience. All I know is that mine was a perfect fit. My fit was mwah, because I believe I was 1 year older than her. She was American, however, she lived in South Africa. So I'm from Ghana. So we both had backgrounds in living in the continent of Africa. It was perfect. Our personalities really meshed well together. It really felt like we had known each other for years, or we could have easily been friends if our paths had crossed elsewhere. We didn't have any issues. We were able to share the space accordingly and no drama at all. It was actually pretty good. Our lifestyles were quite opposites, but at the same time, because it was quite opposite, it wasn't synced too. It was actually pretty cool. I actually enjoyed my shared space with a total stranger, somebody I'd never met before. As I said in the beginning, this is a shared space with somebody else you've never met before. You don't know whom you're going to be sharing the space with. So one thing to take note is that there might be personality differences. Although I had a perfect experience, some people did not, and I heard all about the drama where people were acting kind of funny. And mind you, you're going to be sharing your personal space with somebody you don't even know, you've never met before. So it's kind of intrusive in a way. You don't know how your personality is going to mesh well with somebody else. So take note that give people the benefit of the doubt because you honestly don't know them. Just take it one day at a time and just compromise wherever you can. The next thing to take note of is that you will once again be sharing your personal space with a stranger. So you have to make sure that if you have anything that's important to you, that's very sacred to you, I'm not saying you're going to be sharing your space with a thief. However, you have to protect your assets, the things that are most valuable to you. And you don't know this individual. I was lucky that the individual that I shared my space with was amazing, but that might not be the case for you. And I would rather have you be cautious than to not be cautious and then end up in a very bad situation. Break-ins might not necessarily be people outside. It might be people from the hotel. You never know where the thief is coming from. But at the end of the day, what I will say is if you have anything that is very important to you and you can do without taking it to training, leave it at home. So it's one of those things where you have to be extremely careful and you don't know what might happen, but just be cautious, right? It's better to be safe than sorry. This point actually leads me to talk about hotel safety. There were instances where people reported that the rooms were broken into several times. So be very careful, and you might potentially be going into a new city and you might not be aware of the environments that you find yourself. So just be very cautious and be very self-aware and be vigilant because you never know what is going on. The fourth thing that I do want to discuss is feeding. If you're on a diet, I'm sorry, it will be potentially very hard because I can remember that for the whole 42 days or 43 days, I was eating out the whole time. Aside from the meals and the dinners and the snacks that we got or the lunches that we got in between, I had to eat out the whole time. And be mindful of the fact that you're not getting paid your hourly flight attendant pay, which is like $36 right now. So you have to spend wisely, but I had to eat out the whole time. I felt like once I got back home from training, I had to like detox. My hotel did not have like a kitchen where you could go cook. It barely had a microwave that was functional. It was hard out there, okay? I was fortunate that because I had some kind of savings, I was able to jump into this whole thing and be kind of comfortable, even though I was being very conservative with my expenses. But you have to do what you have to do to survive, and I feel like you need good energy to be able to go through this training because you need to be alert, and I need to eat good food to be alert, okay? Lastly, the other thing that I do want to talk about is mental and physical health. Let's start with physical health. The hotel had a gym, so you can work out. It's very critical to take care of your mental health. If you have to shut everybody out because you cannot afford to be distracted in any way. You cannot afford to be pulled into drama, among other things. This training is critical. We are trying to go into a career that requires you to be away from friends and family for 6 to 7 weeks. And I cannot afford to be in such a program or such a thing and have any sort of distraction that's going to cause me to fail the whole training. You need to be all in, because a lot of the time the information that we're being given is a lot within a short period of time, and you need your head clear. You need that mental stability to be able to focus on whatever it is that you're studying and you're learning while you're in training. And if you share your space with somebody else, note that whatever it is that they have going on, don't let that impact you. If you feel like the space you're sharing with somebody during flight attendant training, they're physically draining or mentally draining, or it's exhausting having to deal with that individual, because people had drama, people were fighting over space. And think about the fact that you're sharing this space with somebody. You might be a neat freak, that person might not care, but you're sharing the space with this person, so you have to be prepared to tolerate a whole lot. And people had conflict because it was just too much. People actually fought. When I got there, the people that came before I did, I heard from the personnel at the hotel that some people fought and they got let go. The company fired. So don't let whatever somebody has going on stress you out. If you need space and you need to let the company know that you need space or you need a different room, be bold enough to ask for it, because you need to protect yourself. You need to protect your mental health. You can't let somebody else impact you in a negative way, cause you to fight or get into conflict with them, and then you end up getting into trouble. Those are some of the tips that I have to survive flight attendant training. Once again, you will be given hotel accommodation. You don't have to worry about that. It's going to be paid for by the hotel. That's one of the things that will be paid for by the hotel aside from the training. But that's it for today, guys. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Let me know if I missed anything. Thank you all for watching today's video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.